Welcome to Midnight Movie Talk live from Los Angeles. This is Eric Weber, ready to lead you through Avatar 2, Avatar: The Way of Water, opening night here on this Thursday. Hope you had a chance to see it. All 3 hours and 12 minutes of Avatar 2. By the way, just got out of just the trailers. You guys know I saw this movie last week. I didn't want to sit through it again, but I did get a really nifty Avatar Way of Water 3D lanyard thingy-madooger. They were giving these out at AMC Burbank for the Dolby screenings. You can see it says Dolby at the bottom. So yes, I have this. In fact, I might even give this away if you want it. I mean, Avatar 2 and I, we're not exactly the best of friends. I want to get your reactions on the film. But I do want to mention before we get into that, the fact that this is, if you really are like kind of on the fence about Avatar 2, you need to go see it for the trailers alone that are attached to this film. Now, I was waiting for Barbie. We did not get Barbie tonight. Apparently, it's going to be there tomorrow. Warner Bros. Is going to do it online tomorrow in the morning. But we got Oppenheimer, which looks the scope of that film, right? It's Nolan, so we knew it would look like mint, and it does. We got Creed 3 behind the scenes with Michael B. Jordan leading us through the shooting of the film. But the one that really stood out, without question, is the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 behind the scenes stunt extravaganza with Tom Cruise jumping motorcycle off the edge of the mountain into a free fall and then pulling the cord. And there goes the bike, and there he goes, doing his own stunts. Wow. Unfreaking believable. I did not say the F word that I said on Twitter because I don't want to have the video. Oh, it's not for kids, even though, come on, it's not for kids. Let's get to the particulars on tonight, because the big question here is, will Avatar 2 get to $200 million? We have been in a space of inactivity for weeks now. Wakanda Forever has been number one for 5 weeks, not because Wakanda Forever is, the best film of the year, certainly, or even a film that has done the damage that Doctor Strange 2 did worldwide. It's way behind that, 150 million plus behind in the same point in the cycle. But the reason it's been on number one for 5 weeks in a row is because there's been nothing else in movie theaters. That changes this weekend. Now, why is that important? Because the film that immediately follows a dead zone in theaters will always benefit big time when it comes to box office, especially in that opening weekend. So right now, you're looking at a minimum of 175. Between 175 and 200 is what I have it at. Let's look right now at the theaters that are out there. Now listen, here's the thing we're going to do. We're going to look at a couple of screenings around LA and see how they look. Now, one thing I want to mention is that we're looking at some really late showtimes here. We're looking at right now 12:30. No, this is at 11:30 down the street at Burbank, the IMAX. But I'm sorry, can you guys see this? This is virtually sold out at 11:30 at night. Okay, these are all so just so you know, these seats are all, it's kind of hard to tell with the AMC webpage, but you can see this seat I can take, but everything else is taken. As you zoom in, you can see everything in this place is pretty much sold out for an 11:30 show, which is insane. So this is going to be a huge opening tonight when we get that Thursday night number. It'll come in about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning on the West Coast, 11 o'clock on the East Coast. We'll get that Thursday number, and I'll tweet that out for you. So be paying attention there on Twitter. Let's go to another theater. Let's go to here in LA. Let's go to Century City. Century City's a huge movie theater when it comes to Beverly Hills, comes to people that, moviegoers, certainly in the industry. Let's go to the 11:30. Look at this, 11:30 Dolby. And this thing is sold out except for the first, 2 rows in the middle, but everything else is open. Look at that. It's virtually sold out. This is very good sign for Fox. I'm sorry, 20th Century. Disney. They're going to have a huge opening, but we knew that, right? We knew that. Let's get to your thoughts on Avatar 2. What did you think of the film? We welcome in Alex here. A member. Thank you for joining the members here on MMT. I didn't hate it. Like most things this year, a little too long. Alex, not a little too long. It is ungodly too long, like an hour too long. The third act was spectacular. At that point, I got to say, Alex, I was kind of checked out. I really was. The third act is certainly the best of the film, but the problem is you have to sit through the first 2 hours. Okay, that was my issue. As high as the highs were, the lows were pretty low as well. I agree with that 100%. I immediately disliked that almost every character that died in the first was back in in this one. 100%. That is one of the big issues with the problem is that we are doing a rerun of Avatar. We are literally rerunning the film. I mean, you look at the Marine, the bad dude. What's his name? You know who I'm talking about, that guy. He is in the film again, only this time he's an Avatar. Okay, that's not really all that original because it does feel cheap, doesn't it? I also felt that the visuals were inconsistent, stunning at times, and others strange. Curious to see what the cinema score is going to be. I think A minus. I just don't see this getting an A or an A plus, certainly because it's too long. And, remember, these are the average moviegoer. When they go to see the film, they're going to say, this movie is too damn long. And they will punish it with a lower cinema score grade. We'll get that tomorrow night. That usually comes out about 9 o'clock on the West Coast. We'll get that. I got Barbie at my screening. I didn't get it. Just a teaser. Okay, we didn't get it here in Burbank. I was super bummed. I was going to say Avatar 2 makes 160 to 175. Thing is, it's going to have legs. Tayag, I would agree. Listen, here's the situation with Avatar as far as legs and as far as the situation going forward with the holidays. Anytime that you open a movie right at the start, right? So a lot of people are out of school coming up here on Friday. So once kids are out of school and they're looking for something to do over the next 2 weeks for the Christmas break, for the New Year's break, those 2 weeks, the holiday corridor, the Christmas corridor is the biggest movie-going 2 weeks of the entire movie-going calendar. Every single film will do really good numbers, but the number one film that will do bonkers numbers is Avatar 2 because it's fresh, it's new, it has almost every screen. So even if we get a number that's under 200 this weekend, it's really not as significant as it would be for other films because it's going to turn around and have a massive Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You're going to see weekday numbers that look like a Saturday afternoon because everybody is off and they have the free time to go to the movies. That's why studios traditionally load up the Christmas corridor with a ton of stuff because people go to the movies multiple times during that 2 weeks. You and I go all the time, but for the average casual moviegoer, they grab the family and they go see Avatar. So it's going to do very well with families. This is a very true, pure 4-quad film, right? Young, old, female, male. Every demo is hit here with Avatar 2. That is going to be very beneficial, obviously, for 20th Century as we go forward over the next 2 weeks. I mean, why even say 20th Century is absurd because it is Disney, as you guys know. This is the weekend where No Way Home opened last year, and exactly what happened, right? No Way Home popped that massive opening, and then it did damage every single day. And that's what's going to happen here with Avatar 2. Now, I want to express something to you guys, and it needs to be said tonight, and so we have record of this. I am not certain this film will have the same gravitational pull that No Way Home had. I think a lot of people are just assuming that this film will open and play exactly the same as a No Way Home. I disagree, and it's very easy to understand why. Because when you had No Way Home, you had the reunion of the 3 Spider-Men in one film. You had a Marvel film that was the continuation of, what we were still in the middle of kind of, the heat of Marvel. And obviously that's cooled off over the last year since then. But it's not the same with Avatar. Okay, there are the people that are super high-end geek, ready to roll with this thing. And then there's some people that are on the fence, or they're just like, I'll see it when I see it. I think that there are people out there that are too high on this as far as it hitting 200 for sure. If it hits 200, I'm not going to say I'm surprised, but I'm also not going to be surprised if it opens at 155. This has a very big margin of error. So that's why I really think the numbers between 150 and 200, that's why I'm going to split the difference and say 175 and lock it at that number. It just makes the most sense to me when you look at this. Will Avatar beat Top Gun for highest box office of 2022? Alex, it's interesting. When they open a film late, there's some, how they run the numbers. even though you only get 2 weeks, you get, I believe they draw some of that in from the early in the year because it's not always like a calendar year. They say, when did it open? And then we can say that all counted in 2022. I'm not exactly sure how that gets counted, but let's say this. I don't think there's any way that Avatar, Way of Water, will match Top Gun Maverick. No way, domestically. Now, in China, look at this. In China, it's going to open to, I believe, 150 million is what they have it at. Let's look at it. Here we go. Pop it up. So this is the latest from THR. They say it's going to 120 plus million in China. As you guys know, that thing, one of the reasons Avatar was the biggest box office hit ever for so long before Endgame took it out finally, is that it did that insane number in China. So here it is again. It's in China. A lot of these people, we haven't seen a lot of films go to China because they have the COVID outbreaks. They're still doing the lockdowns. God knows they're still trying to do something over here. Put the mask back on. Everyone's like, you know what? We've moved on. Okay. But China is open, and that's big because that is, talk about 120 million for an opening. Okay. So right off the bat, you have 120 million that you didn't have for a lot of other films because they weren't even in China. So that's very important. Huge. The runtime is absolutely too long. I agree. Achilles heel. I mean, it's a huge detriment to the film. If this film comes in at 215, I definitely like it a lot more. I probably give it a 7.5, 8. As it is, I gave it a 5 because that last hour, the whole runtime, the runtime is punishing. It is punishing and it makes you turn against the film. So whenever you turn against a film, that's never a good thing, right? When you're in the middle of a film, you're like, I've had enough. I want to leave. That's going to be the problem for Avatar 2. Over the net, you're going to see people saying that. Goober, hello to you. Good evening. And then, we got people. I love this. The chat, you guys are talking to each other. It's fantastic. I love it. You can only turn it 4 times a day. Patrick, here's the thing, though. Yes, you're not going to get as many run times, but because there's nothing else at the multiplex, you have almost every single theater that is showing this. So out of the AMC Burbank 30, there's probably 20 screens that are showing Avatar. So you get more of the actual screens inside of the multiplex. So yes, you have fewer screenings, but because no other studio even bothered to go up against this, and there's not even anything that's counter-programming it. Traditionally we get something that counter-programs. We're going to get it next week with Puss in Boots and with Babylon. Oh my God, Babylon. I don't even want to talk about that movie. But you're looking at least some counter-programming over the Christmas break. Puss in Boots going to do really well because it's a pure young family play. So it'll do very well, just like Sing 2 did last year. Here's what I got to say, though. No matter what happens here with Avatar, my thoughts on it, your thoughts on it, the number one thing that we need to be talking about here is the fact that Avatar 2, we all need to praise for one key, very crucial reason. It is the fact that you are bringing people back to the cinema, where many have not been since Top Gun Maverick back in the summer. Yes, Wakanda Forever, but I'm talking about those casual moviegoers. Avatar is going to play more to them, for families than it is, I believe, than even a Wakanda Forever. It's kind of, you don't feel like you have to be totally invested in the MCU to go see Avatar. All you do is watch Avatar 1. Frankly, you don't even need to see Avatar 1 to watch Avatar 2 because you're watching the same damn film. Okay? But we're going to keep it positive because Avatar 2 should be praised. We should all be excited for this film to arrive because theater goers need this. And I think sitting through the trailers tonight, I'm saying all we got to do is get through a few more months, and next summer is going to be insanity with Guardians 3, Oppenheimer, Dead Reckoning, Barbie, on and on and on next summer. The theaters are going to be in great shape once we get past the next couple of months. It's been a rough 2022 because of the ups and the downs. You have the ups of Top Gun Maverick. You had the Batman, Doctor Strange. You had, obviously, Wakanda Forever. Now you've got Avatar. But in between, remember those months of like September and October where they left theater owners out to dry? There was nothing to watch. There was Barbarian, which, outperformed because there was nothing else around. Then Smile came in and did well. But the theater owners need more product and compelling product. And Avatar, whether you loved it or not, it's bringing people into the theaters. So that makes me very excited tonight. James Cameron said he had a 9-hour cut. I saw that, Steven. Jeff Snyder reported that. He said there's a 9-hour cut of Avatar 3. Can you imagine this man's ego? James Cameron's ego is so large that he thought he could give a 9-hour cut and then have it all rendered, all CG'd. You know how much money that would cost? And then I will decide what I want to put in it. There's a point where I don't care who you are as a filmmaker. If I'm the studio, I'm like, we're not doing it. So thank God someone at 20th Century, at Disney, said, we're not doing a 9-hour cut. Stop. James, we'll give you 3. And even that's too long. We'll give you 3. Not a second more than 3. So that is insane, but also makes a lot of sense because Cameron's ego is absolutely massive. And you have to, obviously, as a filmmaker, you got to have a big ego, but I get it. Alan Ng, my daughter hated Avatar. Good for your daughter. She has great taste, Alan. How did HFR look on IMAX? I thought it looked pretty good in Dolby. I saw it in Dolby. When I watched it, it was on IMAX tonight. I watched literally like a minute and a half of it, and I just literally bolted after watching the previews. It looks fine. It still looks like a video game to me, right? Ultimately, it really does look like but your daughter has very good taste. Because it's not great. It's just not a good film. But we're happy that it's here. It's just not a good film. It's not a great film. Rusty, it'll clean up over Christmas. No question about it. Peter Jackson's film did well in the spot. It's a great spot because you have No Way Home that did well. And look back over the years. Look at a film like, okay, you want to talk about a Christmas corridor hit? Look at The Greatest Showman. The Greatest Showman opened with some middling number of like 6 million, 7 million. And it went on to gross a ton of cash because of the Christmas corridor, 1, and 2, word of mouth. So it had word of mouth going for it, where it was doing just really, really strong numbers over and over and over during those 2 weeks. That's what's going to happen with Puss in Boots, Avatar. Babylon will probably even do pretty good numbers, even as 3 hours long, because it is Damien Chazelle, the Wonder Kid, the Wonder director that has now unleashed his worst film. But either way, it's still counter-programming, right? If you don't want to watch Avatar, if you don't have kids, you don't want to see Puss in Boots, you go to see Babylon, even though it's just not a good film. But unfortunately, we just don't have great films right now. Avatar's not great, and Babylon certainly isn't. Puss in Boots is fine. Watch the screener of it; it's fine. It's not, it's not the best animated masterpiece, as some people are saying. Come on, guys. The original Avatar was a huge box office success, huge film, meant to be viewed in 3D. Do you think 3D gimmick holds value in 2022? Jay, here, listen, obviously it's going to make you more money because you have the 3D aspect, which costs more on the upcharge. I personally do not like watching 3D because it dims the picture, right? So what you're watching, everything that is so vibrantly colored is lost. It's filtered down through the darkness of that 3D lens. So you see that every time that you go watch one. Take your glasses and pull them down, and then you go, oh my God, look at this. And then you put them on and instantly it's duller because obviously the 3D is a darker lens. So that's my primary issue with it. I think the 3D is for certain films works. Obviously here it does. I've seen some Marvel films like that. But if you're asking me which I'd rather watch a film in non-3D just for the color vibrancy, if nothing else. We're going to come back to this, but I do want to, this is a huge topic tonight. This is something we didn't talk about last night because we don't do Midnight Movie Talk on Wednesday unless it's a special night. We are going to discuss right now James Gunn getting rid of Henry Cavill. Now, I want your comments on this, but I can tell you right now, it was the right move. Here is why it was the right move for James Gunn to get rid of Henry Cavill. Cavill is 39 years old. James Gunn, when he took over the DCU, stated, and the Warner Brothers exec stated, that their plan is a 10-year plan, just like Marvel. So if you have a 10-year plan, you need an actor that is a hell of a lot younger than 39, because the 10-year plan puts Henry Cavill at 49, and then it's too late. So Gunn did the right thing here. Short term, it's not the right play, but long term, it is. And we are working long term, not short term. The key now is to get a younger actor who's 28, 29. Think about what Matt Reeves did with the Batman, right? He went and got Robert Pattinson, a younger actor, 28, 29, so he could bring him along for 10 years because that's about the rough time frame when you look at, Batman Begins and you look at the Dark Knight Rises, roughly 10 years. Let's just use that as a measurement, right? That's about the right span of time. So when you look at what Gunn has done, he is protecting his long-term investment by losing in the immediate time frame. He's losing, a great Superman in Henry Cavill. But now you've got to get it right. You got to cast a 28, 29-year-old kid, not really a kid, but you know what I mean, who physically can play the role of Superman. And that's the hard part here, is that you have to find someone who is 6'1", 6'2", that is 185 plus pounds, that is already in pretty good shape, especially for Superman. For Batman, you can cover him up as they did with Robert Pattinson, who did lift some weights, but Robert Pattinson's not jacked, okay? I mean, we haven't done a physique critique of Robert Pattinson, but we can certainly do that later tonight. But when you look at Pattinson, he's not jacked. He's not Henry Cavill. He's not Christian Bale as Batman. He's not even Ben Affleck as Batman. I think that Robert Pattinson will grow physically into that role when Batman 2 comes up, or whatever Reeves calls it. But right now, he's not quite there. But when you talk about Superman, you need to have somebody who is pretty jacked. You cannot have somebody putting on the suit and looking goofy like Shazam, right? You can see that suit is fully foam. We need to have someone who fills the suit out like The Rock. Maybe not as big as The Rock, but you got to have someone who looks the right part. So the challenge here for James Gunn is to nail the casting. But if you're questioning James Gunn and casting, look no further than Guardians of the Galaxy and picking the perfect group of Guardians for that film. If he misses on any one of those Guardians, then the whole film doesn't work. And especially Chris Pratt. If you look at Pratt, that was everything. Getting that right is the difference between Guardians being a success and a failure. I mean, it really is. But to me, Guardians of the Galaxy, the strength of that is James Gunn's direction. It's his choices. But that goes back to his choices of Star-Lord, which is Chris Pratt. So if you're questioning whether James Gunn can get it right, he already did. So now he has to do it again. He has to bring the magic in, make sure he gets the right person to play Clark Kent, and then get it right. But he made the right decision. Getting rid of Henry Cavill was the best long-term decision. Your comments now. Give me a like, because you know what I just said is 120% correct. Because they're like, you're exactly right. What you just said is 120% correct. You want to do a movie fight against you and one of the trolls? No, I'm not doing any trolls. No trolls fights here. You can come on, but that's it. But hey, Galliet, thank you for the super chat. Let's go. Anyone, come on, give me it. Oh, I got to go down to the latest comments. Give me your comments on Henry Cavill. Patrick, Henry Cavill is one of two great Supermen in my life. Cavill is perfect. I agree. The problem is Man of Steel 2 should have been made 5 years ago. Patrick, at times I feel like I should just go ahead and, make you the co-host. You're very smart with your comments, and I couldn't have said this better. That is the problem. It wasn't Cavill's fault they didn't make Man of Steel 2 5 years ago. That is on Warner Brothers, and that should have happened, and for whatever reason, it didn't happen. And now, as a 39-year-old, it's over. Every time I say that, I swear to God, I feel like I'm living in the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning trailer. It's over. It's over. And it was a nice ride, and you were amazing, Henry Cavill, but we've got to go younger. You're old. I'm sorry to be ageist, but that's just the reality of it. I want to prove your stardom to the trolls. We got so many trolls out there. So many trolls. The problem with Cavill was DC's last major draw. They have to start with square one. Also, Pattinson's a good actor because he can carry the cow. But he cannot carry the cow. Yeah, I mean, I think he did okay. I have no problem with Robert Pattinson. I think we're going to see him get better as it goes on. I don't think it was a miscast. But Henry Cavill was bang. They nailed it, right? Nailed that. You've got to do that again. So Gunn has to do it again, but he's done it before. So Henry Cavill was great. But unfortunately, guys, it's time to move on. And that's just the reality of it. Is it Jacob Elordi? He's 6'5", he's Australian. Ken, it's a good call. I know a little bit about him. He's on what's it called? Euphoria, right? I don't know if I've even seen him in anything, but I have a feeling that he would be someone they'd be looking at. Good looking dude, looks like Superman, and he's got the size. You can't teach size, right? So when you're 6'5", you just automatically step into the role of having the stature. I think that it's almost a little too tall, right? Because what happens is when you're 6'5", every other actor is like 5'8", and they have to put you on apple boxes. Whoever's against him, right? So it might be a little too tall, but I'm still going to go with the tall versus the short. You don't want a Superman who's 5'8". Not going to work, okay? Iron Man works at 5'10", 5'11", right? Robert Downey probably 5'9". That works. Robert Pattinson's about 6'1", 6'2", so height-wise he works. I told you I ran into Robert Pattinson at the A24 party a couple years ago, and I go, man, damn, you're tall. You're not short. Sometimes you see the people and you're like, you're not very tall. He's tall. Austin Butler for Superman. Simone, good evening to you. By the way, it's awesome hanging out with you tonight. We had a great movie Twitter hangout tonight, and then we walked over to watch the trailers, and Simone watched the trailers, and then she left like I did. Too skinny. Austin Butler needs to put on size. Physically, right? You need to have the presence physically to carry out the role. And what Black Adam got right is the fact that The Rock physically looks like a superhero. Obviously, he doesn't even need to put anything in the suit. His muscles are the suit. So we're looking for something like that. And that's the challenge, is finding someone who is in really good shape and is also jacked. Looks cut too. You want that too, but you also want them not to be too short. So it's a really tough and a good actor. I mean, these are all. That's not. You're asking for a lot. Did Cavill get Zoolandered? He just got too old for it. Exactly. He just got too old for the role. It's just unfortunate. He can do it right now. He just can't do it over the next 10 years, which is the plan that James Gunn has in effect, which is the right plan. It is absolutely the right plan. By the way, let's do this. Tonight's kit is Benfica from Portugal. And of course, you guys know that the MMT colors match the color of the kit. So it's perfect tonight. It's red. We're hard red tonight. More comments from you. Let's go back. Anything you want to do now is wide open. We'll do it wide open. By the way, I want to mention one thing to you. It's not out. That's the wrong one I hit. It's open comment time. I want to mention something tonight. We're going to do something kind of crazy. I hope you guys are ready for this. At the end of the show, we are going to do something that's a little bit weird. We're going to call it MMT Gets Freaky. And at the very end of the show, I've never really talked about this, but you guys think I'm like doing some kind of weird sexual thing. No, that's not what's happening. I'm going to show you some stuff that I think is super cool that doesn't have to do with movies, but is absolutely fascinating to me. And you'll find out later what it is. It's a little bit freaky. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to show you something, and I want to get your comments on what I'm going to show you. Trust me when I say you're going to want to watch that. We'll get to it here in a little bit. MMT Gets Freaky at the end of the show. Be ready. Back to your comments here. Let's go. Would it be? Hold on, I'm jumping in here. Let me go all the way back. Let's go back to our Avatar comments, and because it is Avatar night, but we can also do a couple Cavils on the way. Simone again. Cavill was toyed with for 10 years. 100% agree. Warner Brothers should have let him go years ago. The Black Adam fiasco worsened the optics of the situation. No question. If he's gone from it for as long as he was, I think we're not talking about it like we are. But because we just saw him in the end credits scene, you're like, wait a second. You just put him in Black Adam, and now he's gone. But remember, James Gunn did not green light or do anything with Black Adam. He came in right after that. So all of a sudden, James Gunn is like, no, we're not doing this. It's a hard decision, man. It's not like it was an easy decision for James Gunn, but if you again look at a 39-year-old Henry Cavill, which by the way, he looks really good for 39. You go 10 years, you're 49. That's too old. It's not going to work. Okay. Even Robert Downey Jr. started to get, older. He was in his late 40s. Was he in his early 50s when Endgame was out? It was probably close. So when you start to get to that age, the reality is you don't look as much as a superhero. I mean, come on, aging sucks. Trust me. I understand that, but it's the right decision. because you don't want to be here in 5, 10 years going, oh man, I wish we would have done that before. Sometimes in life, the short-term pain is immense, but the long-term pleasure is worth it. And I go back to what I do quite a bit. You guys know I'm very, very diligent about the gym. I love the gym. In fact, if you ask me, where am I the most happy at the moment I'm doing it, even more than doing MMT, is literally in the middle of a workout. And I know that sounds strange if you don't work out, but there's something almost spiritual that comes out of you when you're pushing yourself and you're doing those things that you know are going to make you better tomorrow. And that's what James Gunn is doing. He is sacrificing today the pain of now for tomorrow, for the DCU 10 years from now. So everybody who's like, no, 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 you made a mistake, Henry Cavill, he's going to be 49 in 10 years. That is James Gunn and Peter Safran's plan. 10 years. You got to go through the short-term pain of getting rid of Henry Cavill today. It's the cold hard facts of it. I mean, that's just the reality of it. 10-year plan. Nice. Let's see one good film. Let's find out, because we're going to find out for sure. James Gunn made the right decision. Cavill, which just isn't the star. You know, interesting you say that. I will say this about Henry Cavill. I don't think he is that interesting. Now, let me, how do I put this? I think that he's a very good-looking guy that is kind of one-dimensional, right? When he tries to go outside of just being the good-looking tough guy, or in Superman, the good-looking all-American guy, but the tough guy when he was in Mission Impossible, the other things that he's done where he tries to break out of that, he just has kind of a one-note deal going on. Nothing wrong with it. I think one of the other problems is that when you're as good-looking as Henry Cavill, and he traditionally is just like drop dead, right? Drop dead gorgeous guy. When you look like a Ken doll, which he does, people have a hard time taking you seriously. I live with it, trust me. Joke. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you look like a Ken doll, you can't do anything but be the good-looking guy. And I think when you're looking for an actor, Superman's perfect. That's fine. It works for that. But when you're looking for somebody who is going to do something more interesting, like let's use Tom Hanks for an example. Not a particularly good-looking guy. He looks like a regular dude, right? I mean, he's not ugly, but he's also not like, hunk. He's Tom Hanks. He's a likable guy that can play all kinds of roles. Henry Cavill he's got to play one thing, right? Good-looking GQ guy. And I think that his personality is very much like that as well. You need to have somebody who's a little more interesting when you're looking for something beyond Superman. Superman's perfect. You can be one note. It actually works. There's not a whole lot of layer to Clark Kent, right? I mean, every iteration of Clark Kent we've ever seen isn't some kind of like super deep philosophical character, right? It's straightforward. And I think that was interesting. You remember Nick Cage was going to play Superman back in like the mid to late 90s. I was almost a PA on that, by the way. I was almost a PA. I interviewed to be a PA on the Nick Cage Superman movie. And then it was completely and utterly gutted, gone. It's gone. I forget even who was the director of that. Someone help me. There was going to be a Nick Cage. I'm telling you, go back and look, like in 1996, 97, and then it got blown out. Jonathan Majors as Superman. I mean, sure. I mean, he looks amazing in the Creed 3 trailer. The Creed 3 trailer, it's not even a trailer. It's a behind the scenes making of with Michael B. Jordan talking about the process of him being a first-time director. But when you watch him, Jonathan Majors, and Michael B. Jordan, but both of them are so jacked, it makes me want to go to the gym. I was in the middle of the thing, like, okay, is the gym open right now? Because it's such an inspiration to look at somebody like Jonathan Majors, who is, let's pull him up. I got to look at him again. I'm sorry. I have a man crush on, especially Jonathan Majors. I mean, dude is yoked. Let's see. Shirtless. Okay. Give me a second. We already did the physique critique on this, but the reality, okay, here it is. So, I mean, there's not much to say other than he looks unbelievable. Let's pop it up and let's go here. Okay, this is the GQ thing. This is him getting in shape for everything, for Kang, for Creed 3. Look at that. Let's do physique critique right now. Screw it. Let's do it again because he's so good. Let's just roll right into it. Physique critique. You got the colon. Just assume it says Jonathan Majors. Look at the tricep definition there. He's got the horseshoe, the full horseshoe. He's got the inner and the outer deltoid going in his pecs. Such definition. This is an A+ body. If you're at, honestly, if you wherever we talk about physique critique, you say, who is an A+? It is Jonathan freaking Majors in this film. Why is it not going down for me? Okay, here we go. There's the workout. There he is. Look at that. First of all, the arms are just about perfect. His deltoids, perfect. His delts look amazing. He's got great traps. Look back here. Look behind, like the chest. You see that right there? That I can't really. Unfortunately, my cursor's not there, but you can see it. And he's got a very good six pack, but not too shredded. He just is like the perfect amount of shred. This is Jonathan Majors. You are perfection, sir. 100%. I'm not going to lie to you. I would absolutely. You know what, Alex? I will allow you calling this a masterpiece. This is a masterpiece of a body. I think he's amazing. Man of Steel is a 2-act film where Metropolis gets 9/11 and Superman breaks a guy's neck. These are the comments I live for, Rusty. That's good. Man of Steel was an awesome first half, and then the second half of that nonstop blitzkrieg of CGI, the orgy of violence at the end with Zod, and I just was like, get me out of here. It reminded me a lot of Avatar in that it's just so damn long. Zack Snyder, you really should have played that a lot shorter. Isn't that every single movie that we talk about? It should be shorter. Every single movie. Any other Avatar comments? Go to it. Guess what we're gonna do right now. Thank you, Brett, for the $5 super sticker. Really appreciate it. Thank you for being here tonight, by the way, everybody. Let's just do this because I want you guys to get an idea of what this looks like when we do. And you guys, I hope you guys are ready. This is gonna be weird, but I want you guys to know this. We might as well go for it. MMT gets freaky. I'm gonna put on my headsets so I can listen to the video. I'm about ready to show you guys a video. Okay. So the video I'm going to show you is, listen, I told you this is not going to be Midnight Movie Talk for a minute. It's going to be something a little different. I have spent some time going down some rabbit holes, okay? You know when we all were told that COVID was this super destroying death agent that everyone who contacted it would die, okay? We were told that narrative for so long, and no one's suggesting it's not real. But I think we all know now, 2 years plus on, that it wasn't exactly as we were told. So once you start to question things like, wait a second, if that was a little bit too much, if that story doesn't fully check out, then maybe there are some other things in the world that don't check out. So in the interest of investigative journalism, this is where we're going to turn into something of unsolved mysteries. Tonight, I'm going to welcome in a channel that I really like. And you guys are probably have never heard of this channel. And you're going to be like, what are we doing here? Just trust me here. You guys, I want your reaction to this, okay? Here comes Jeff P. Now, Jeff P. is a YouTuber who spends a lot of time discussing events in the sky, okay? Things that happen in the sky, UFOs, things like that. Okay. So I'm going to show you a video that I love. If you don't subscribe to Jeff P's channel, by the way, Jeff P, just search it. Let me see if I can roll up to it. Okay. So you can see this. So here's what's going on here. He claims that there is, you guys are like, dude, MMT is, I told you what's the bottom say? MMT gets freaky. He claims that there is or are multiple planets that are right outside of our atmosphere. Now, listen, guys, just go with it here for a minute because I'm going to show you something and I want you guys to think. Now, remember, under the guise that we were told all these things over the past 2 years of all this stuff that was propaganda, so much of it was, I then start to say, wait a second, what else has been propaganda throughout our lives, right? Do you ever do that? You say, hold on, if they lied to me about this, okay, here it comes. Now, listen, guys, I'm just telling you, I've shown this to somebody and they go, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, So
watch this planet just fade in.
Look on the left side of your screen. This, before you watch here, so this is one of these cameras they have set up like outside in the middle of nowhere. I want to say it looks like, okay, it's Finland. So in Finland, looking out into outer space, these cameras, they're just, like live cams. So people sit here and look at these live cams and they're sitting there going, what am I going to see on the live cam? So here we go. So watch here on the left-hand side of this. You guys are like, what the hell is happening here? This is MMT getting freaky. Okay, guys, trust me when I say you're going to like what you see, because you're going to be like, this is crazy shit. Watch the left-hand side of your screen.
Start to see it.
Okay, stop for a second. Do you guys see the blob, a blob coming in on the left side? Do you guys see it? It almost looks like the old Universal logo coming in. You know what I'm saying? Okay, just wait. So here it comes. This is over time, by the way. This is over a series of many, many minutes. Here it comes.
The light of the moon now.
Now watch. So he's saying the light of the moon is hitting this celestial object. Now look at this thing. Okay, now hold on. Listen, I told you MMT is going to get freaky. So this thing is sitting here. Do you guys see the stripe across the middle? Do you see how the light's hitting it? So there is something there, and it is not being caused by the actual camera. There is something there. And the thing that's crazy about this video, and I know you guys are like, oh my God, Weber's lost it. It's fine. So what? I don't care. Watch the stripe go through. Do you guys see how it's moving? It's turning. So it's literally rotating around where you see it come through. The stripe comes through, and then look, then it disappears into, there's almost something else there. Do you see that in front of it, like something blocking it?
Look at the
light behind so let's look at it one more time. So here it comes. There's the rotation.
There's the stripe from the stripe,
and it's moving as it rotates. So it's clearly there's something there, okay? And it's clearly something that looks like a planet. I don't know what to say to this. Like when I watch something like this, I start to say, no, just listen, guys. Please listen to me. I need you to understand something here. That I'm not suggesting that this is real. I'm not saying it's 100%. There's a planet that has a giant stripe that's rotating around outside of our atmosphere. I'm not saying that to you. But what I am going to ask you is it possible that things we've been told throughout our entire lives are not true? Is it possible that things that you've learned your entire existence here on planet Earth are not necessarily the full story? That's the question. Not whether what you're seeing is real. But I'm telling you what, when you watch that, you say, what the hell is that? And then someone will say, and let's go to the comments, and then we can go back to wherever you want to be. I told you we're going to do something for you. So there goes the planet, and you can see the stripe. There's two stripes. There's the other stripe coming around the other way. So whatever this thing is has things on it that are rotating. I know you guys are like, what? Here come the comments. Let's go. Let's go, you guys. Let's do this freaky thing. Tell me what you think of the striped planet. Somebody turned in is like, what the hell is happening? We literally just did a physique critique of Jonathan Majors, and now he's showing us some weird planetary system thing with a stripe on it on a weather camera. What am I watching? It's fine. I don't care. I don't even care if you guys say that, because I just want to do it. We're not going to do this all the time. We're just going to do it from time to time. Okay, from time to time. All right, let's see if anyone has this. Oh man, yells at cloud. The X-Files trust no one. Moonfall. Thank you. Way to bring this in. Moonfall was crushingly dull. Oh my God, that's Rusty's on fire tonight. Interstellar 2 filming. I'm just saying, guys. I post a link. I'll post a link. It is Ben Figisher. Okay, guys. I'm just okay. That's it. I'm not going to go any. I'm just going to play it one more time. So here comes the planet. Here comes the planet. Get ready. It's going to all of a sudden. And so here it comes.
See the light of the moon now.
Here it comes. And here comes the light of the moon. Here comes the giant stripe rotating. And there's the moon shining off of whatever the hell this thing is.
Kind of looks like a really moon simulator.
I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm just telling you that I don't know what I'm watching. In it's Moonfall 2. But listen, guys, think about something for a minute, and then we'll go back to movies. Think about something with me. just indulge me, please. Like you haven't for the past 5 minutes or plus. Indulge me. Is that do you think that a lot of these scripts that get written about this stuff that you could never imagine coming up with, right? It's stuff that you're like, this is so incredibly unbelievable that no one could ever write this. What if someone actually had knowledge of these things and then was writing stuff that was actually more on the nose than you would ever imagine? That's the question that I ask. I'm just asking. I don't listen, Jonathan. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just telling you that's fine. We're going back. I'm just telling. I wanted to show you that video. We don't have to always talk about movies here, right, guys? Dust on the lens. I don't know. I mean, but okay, fine. Maybe it's dust on the lens. I don't know. I'm just telling you something's there. But why is it stay in the same spot for hours? Right? Look, do you see it? Hold on. Why is it still in the same spot? Look, this is 30 minutes. So okay, here's what this guy says it looks like. Look, that's what he says it looks like. If you go up close, other pictures of it. So look, why if it's a dust spot, why is it still there after hours and hours and like literally over the course of a very long time, like from night to day? Why is it still sitting there? It can't be a dust spot. And why are those things moving around on it? I don't know, guys. I'm just telling you, man, something's weird. Do you just answer me this? Just answer me this. And then we can go back. That's no moon. It's a space station. It's dust in the lens. Maybe. Okay, but all I'm saying is this. Do you guys ever say to yourself, what is real and what has been fabricated? Because there's no way for me to have gone through the past 2 years of what we went through and to not in the back of my mind, because I'm constantly thinking. I mean, I just can't stop turning off the brain, asking questions. What's this? What's that? So when you've been lied to, and we were clearly by many people, then don't you start to say, wait a second, what else were we lied to? It's just kind of a natural extension. So thank you, Chief. It's weird. I mean, that's the thing. It's weird. When did Grace Randolph start sharing? Oh no, did she say that, William? Did she say? I didn't even know that she says that. Like, there's some weird shit out there. I'm just telling you that there is. It's maybe that we live in a simulation. We could. I mean, I don't know. Hold on. Let me show you one more. Hold on. Okay, I'm only going to show you because I went down the rabbit hole. I'm not going to do this all the time. We're going to watch one more video. Okay, this is a channel called The Final Days. Now, this channel is super creepy. This channel is this woman who literally talks about like the end of the world. Now, I know you guys are like, this guy's lost it. Just wait. Why? Wait till you see. This is called The Final Days. Wait till you see this. Okay. So this is like this one like made me go, what in the hell is happening here? So this is the video.
This is actually good news because
okay,
Jesus.
Now listen, guys. Please listen to me. She talks about the end of the world, which, honest to God, I don't even know at this point. Maybe. Look. Do you guys see the thing there? Now watch the planet that she says she's captured on a weather camera. Okay. The key is when you watch this thing here with these giant craters, which is not the moon. Watch as it rotates. Okay, that's the thing. It's not just sitting there, right? Watch as it moves. Okay, watch where the spots go. The spots move exactly how it should be rotating. So there it goes, right? Do you see it?
We will be protected from the wrath that will rain down
she's
upon
like saying the end of the
this
world.
full
But
of
look,
sin
watch,
and
see the craters.
The new King
so
James
she's got contrast applied to it. So there it is. Do you see how it kind of looks like a spot?
Now we've seen the same.
I'm just telling you, guys, that this is. I haven't seen UFO. I don't know. I'm just saying. Okay, fine. World peace would preclude the apocalypse, according to Christian. Well, then we're definitely not at the end of the world. Has anyone ever been to the moon? Kyle, honestly, that's another question. I don't know. After seeing The Matrix a long time ago, I started. Good for you. I'm just saying, guys, that we'll do a 10-minute warning here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Let's go back to movies. But if you want to talk about that, I'm just saying that I just want you guys, the point of the show when we started this show, what is it, 7-8 months ago now, is that I want you to always question narratives, even in film, obviously. Because when you have narratives like, this film is a masterpiece, we already talked about that the other day. Like, no, it is not a masterpiece. You cannot just throw that word around. There are terms that you must meet, and you are not meeting those terms by using the word masterpiece. So what I'm asking you is to constantly think about what real is, what you're being told is, and that's it. I'm not saying some crazy conspiracy things. Oh my God. But I'm just saying, watch things, check things out, and then make your own decisions. I'm just going to present it. I'll tell you my thoughts, and then you guys can tell me. Brett, we've just hit the asteroid belt that comes every 12,000 years. That's why NASA's planned tactical nukes to deflect them. Brett, listen, the show's like, but here's the funny thing is, I know some of you think like that's crazy to say, but let me just tell you that why not? You guys saw, let's tie it into movies. You guys saw Armageddon. Did they tell anybody that there was a gigantic asteroid coming to wipe out planet Earth? No, of course they wouldn't, and they didn't in the film. Why? Because everyone would freak out. Which, remember the movie Greenland? Not a great movie. But the one thing it got right is, once Gerard Butler and his family found out that the world was going to end, everyone freaked out and they had to get to Greenland because only certain people had the magic Wonka ticket to get there to be safe, to get to the bunker. But what happened? Everyone freaked out. Traffic was over. Everything was done. If they said to you that there's a giant asteroid belt coming into our galaxy, do you think that everyone would just get up tomorrow and go to work? They would go, the world's over, I quit. So I'm just telling you, there are lots of things that we are not told. I am 100% certain of that. 120 million percent certain that when we go on to the next level, whatever that is, we're going to find out that a lot of things we were told are not true. I know that. I'm 100% sure. It's James Gunn building an authentic Krypton. Ken Murray. Ken Murray bringing it. It's so good. So true. By the way, I missed let me get back to it. I did miss a super chat, and I will not do that. If you guys super chat, it's in. Gal, yet again, thank you so much. You've been super supportive tonight and throughout. One of the first people, by the way, on my live, what are they called? The Twitter Spaces things. That's where we started this show. We started on Twitter Spaces. Then we moved it here because it was just easier for me and all that stuff. So we did that. So thank you. My biggest concern with Gunn is basically throw the 2023 slate under the bus by announcements. Yes. Remember what I just said. You are doing short-term pain for long-term gain. Just like I was talking about the gym, short-term pain today, working out so that tomorrow you can look better. I know this. But it's the same principle. Only there's a lot of money here. Is that you are gonna take a short-term setback for the long-term gain, and that's a mindset that a lot of people can't wrap their head around because it's very hard because cutting something loose now is painful, and most people in life don't want to face pain, so you avoid pain, so you avoid doing something difficult because you don't want to go through the pain. But the truth of it is, the pleasure lies beyond the pain. We're doing sadomasochism here. Tonight's stream is insane. What the hell? Weber lost his shit. Who cares? That happened a long time ago. It's all good. Is short-term pain, long-term gain. So these films that are already made, Warner Brothers is maybe going to take a short term, but you're still going to see him. I'm going to see him. Come on, we're all going to see him. But knowing that it's not connected to the future, that is going to be weird. I'm not going to lie to you, but I still want to see the films because it's ultimately just a story, right? These are movies, these are stories. So, but I think that it again just all boils down to making the right decision for the long term. And that's exactly what he's doing. And by the way, yes, Chief, it is a Benfica. Which I already said, but I already missed some of these comments. I apologize. I'm like all over the place. Let's go to the bottom of the comments. Anyone that was get in your comment now. If you already did it, comment again. Brett, thank you for being a member. Really appreciate it. You rock. All of you rock, even if you're not a member. I don't care. But if you're a member, you rock a little more. Dark Phoenix and the New Mutants. Is that what we're looking at? Jeff, me at Dunkin' Donuts this morning. Short-term gain for long-term. You do have it backwards, right? The short-term pain is not getting the donut. I mean, I come on. I know you guys are like that guy, but truth is there's many times, like even tonight, I'm like, do I even want to have a beer? I'm just turning this like total wuss. By the way, the best, if I haven't told you guys, the best, absolute best sparkling water in the universe right here from Walmart. Yes, I proudly shop at Walmart. I don't care if you guys judge me. I don't care. Judge me. Repeat Q if that's cool. When doing a top movies of the year list, yeah, let's definitely do that, Goober. That's coming up. We still have a few more weeks here of 2022. I want to make sure to see every single film. There's 2 films, well, one in particular I really want to get to, and it's disappointing I never got to it. I wanted to, and I forgot about it, and it's the reason I didn't get to it is because A24 threw it in the trash after Yang. I love Kuganda in Columbus, Koganda, however you say his name, Kuganda. And Columbus I love that film. Very small, intimate, really well-made film. Really loved it. And now you've got After Yang. I never got to it, but I've heard After Yang's very good. So I want to see it before, because I have a feeling After Yang could be in my top 10 films of the year. At the end of the year, I watch one of my top 10 because my top 10 is very top-heavy, and then the bottom gets weaker. There's some flexibility there. There's certainly some spots that are a little tenuous. So if I can, see, exactly. After Yang's damn good. He's a very strong filmmaker. That was the hell of a debut, Columbus. And I'm so disappointed, and especially if I like After Yang like I expect to like it. What a complete and utter fumble of a situation from A24. A24 sometimes does some things that make you go, what are you doing? And I know at the same time they were really focusing on everything everywhere all at once, but you still should be able to do one film and also promote another. And After Yang got completely shafted. It got thrown onto Showtime. It was only playing in LA at Alamo downtown, and I think one other place. I don't even think maybe it was just at Alamo. I don't even like going downtown LA. It's a pain in the ass. From the Valley to get to downtown LA is 40 minutes with traffic. Then you got to park at Alamo. You got to pay to park. I got to go in. They think they still have masks there. I don't care if you wear a mask, but it's just like being told I have to, and all those things. So Alamo for me is not really where I want to be. I like when I'm there and eating stuff, it's cool, but it's a pain. So if it was a Burbank, I would have seen After Yang by now. But A24 didn't bother to put any kind of meaningful theatrical component to it, and therefore I didn't see After Yang. But is it Koganda, right? Koganda. And Koganada, however you say his name. But listen, he's so good. Getting a full meal to stream, aren't you? You've gone from Avatar to Henry Cavill. We're talking After Yang. And then we also threw in the mysterious striped planet that's lurking right outside of our atmosphere. Grace Randolph doesn't do that shit. God knows she doesn't. Masks, right? We're at the point now. We only have a few more minutes. Let's go 10 minutes. 10 minutes and we're done. Masks. Can we just do a quick thing on masks? And I've said it before. Give me a thumbs up because I know you're going to give me a thumbs up here. If you want to wear a mask, go for it. If you don't, go for it. Do not legislate to others how they need to live their life. Do not bring into my world anymore. You're going to kill grandma. Don't even do it. Just stop. You're making yourself look foolish. Don't do it. Do not be the person who's, let's say that all of a sudden we have to wear masks again. And I say have to, right? Don't be the person taking a picture. Oh, that person's not wearing a mask. In fact, if anything, I want to take a picture of you taking a picture of me and saying you're the idiot. Don't be that person. Let people live the lives they want to live as long as they're not recklessly doing something, and not wearing a mask is not reckless. Reckless is driving down the 405 at 120 miles an hour, cutting in and out of lanes, cutting people off, slamming into the back of somebody. That is reckless. Not wearing a mask, not reckless. Do not even come into here saying that. Don't even bother. You're wasting everyone's time. Find a new hobby than mask shaming. Give me a like. That was gold. That's gold. Rack him. I feel like Jim Rome now. 100%. A real interesting night. Not every night's going to be like this, Nemo Incognito, but I appreciate you being here. I'm just saying, it sometimes we've got to talk about other things. We can talk about movies, and I love doing that. But we've kind of talked about Avatar to death. It's not a great film. It's overlong. James Cameron needed someone to tell him to cut an hour out of the film. No one did, and we all suffer for it. That's Avatar 2 in a nutshell. We talked about James Gunn doing the right thing by getting rid of Henry Cavill, not short term, but long term, because it's a 10-year plan, and you cannot have a 49-year-old Henry Cavill as Superman. So that's the right decision. We talked about the spinning striped planet. We have done it all tonight. Nobody does it like us. To tarnish your mouth with a name like it's like listen, I'm telling you what, do it. Chief, thank you for being here. Do it. Wear a mask. No one's saying you can't wear a mask, right, Patrick? No one's saying you can't. You just don't tell people they need to. Get out of here. Explain why the Woman King is picking up steam. Ken, great question. It's free for all now at the end. Free for all. The Woman King's picking up steam. I can't answer why. I don't understand, because it's a very average film. It has two very good performances. The number one is that Mbedu, the young actress, is really fantastic. The fact that she's not getting the attention is kind of the issue for me, because if you're going to talk about one thing from that film, it's that. Viola Davis is very good. By the way, I didn't ever tell you this story. This is a story I've never told, because I'm not 100% certain, but I'm 99.9% certain of this. But I'm going to tell you the story. So a few weeks ago, I went to Vons here in Burbank. That's where I do some shopping. I shop at like 100 other groceries. I'm always at a grocery buying Diet Mountain Dew, tuna, protein powder, the weirdest shit. Life cereal. You have no idea. But I'm in Vons, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. It's right before it's going to close. And I'm not. It was one of these situations that I go, what the hell is this really happening? I'm walking down the aisle, and I'm not even, I am 99.9% certain, I didn't ask. Viola Davis is there looking at different English muffins. I said, what? What is happening? I came into Vons to get some Cinnamon Life and Diet Mountain Dew. I know that's a weird combination. I totally get it. And there's Viola Davis comparing different brands of English muffins. That is the weird. So I don't. That's how. I'm sorry. That's how it wraps into Woman King. How is it picking up steam? I don't know. It's a fine movie. It's not a great movie. I can't answer. It's not a great film. It's not a great film. It's like a 7. Live your life and do what you want. 100%. The fight. We're going back and forth between masks. And the Woman King, the fight scenes suck. It's not a very well directed movie either. It's not a very. If you're going to single out direction, you are not going to pick the Woman King. I'm not saying it's poorly directed, but it's also not an award-worthy directorial effort. So that is really baffling to me, very baffling to me. And that's where I start to wonder, are we doing it based on merit or something else? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about that. Because when you look at, direction this year, you obviously look at Tar, you look at X, you look at any of the films you see up here, even from this year or years past, they're going to have a very strong directorial imprint. Elvis, She Said's a very well-directed film. Very strong. Good Time. I mean, come on. After Sun, Moonlight, on and on we go. The Woman King is not a best director situation. Not even close. Diet Mountain Dew tuna. It's the truth. I had to get tuna, and if I run out of Diet Mountain Dew, I have a major, life is not good for me. 5-minute warning, 5 minutes. Chicken breast and broccoli. No, Patrick, it is canned chicken breast, which is really easy to cook, right? You just take the can, put it in the skillet with some black beans, and you have an awesome burrito situation. But if I run out of tuna or canned chicken, I'm running off to Vons, and I run into Viola Davis shopping for muffins. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. She shops at Vons in Burbank. The Muffin King. You guys are unreal. You guys are. It is surreal. Here's the thing, Nemo. The reality is that when you walk into Vons at 9:59 and you're trying to get tuna and Diet Mountain Dew, or Life, whatever, one of those three or all three. And I came across Viola Davis in, I'm pretty sure, her pajamas, comparing different kinds of English muffins. I said, only in LA. And that's the funny part is that a lot of the things that I talk about seem like they don't happen, but I never would. It's like, it's too bizarre I have to tell you that it's true. And also, did I show you guys the spinning planet one more
Object
time?
before.
The spinning planet that's
We
coming
know
towards
this
us right now.
cannot be a lens flare
So,
of
okay,
the
real
sun
quick,
for several
before we go,
reasons.
this is
The
his
most
Diet
obvious
Mountain Dew and
reason
Life
is its
cereal.
fast rotation. Our sun only
Jeff,
rotates once
are you
every
kidding me?
27 Earth
No
days.
wonder you see new planets.
This
Listen,
is
fine.
just one of
But
many
here's the
biblical
thing. Look,
signs
okay,
that we
so
are
look.
living in the very last days.
Do you hear her? She's talking about like
in
it's
the
the end of the
Bible's
world.
book of
Just
Luke,
let me turn it up.
chapter
Hold on.
21,
It's going
verse
to turn it up.
25, Jesus tells us
Okay,
that
just
we will see signs in the sky when the end of the age is near.
okay.
Untold
She's creeping us
trillions
out.
have
Okay, I'm
been
going to turn down the volume. Look, okay, so this is a weather camera, and then I'm just telling you guys, you could say Weber lost it. I don't even care. Do you see the thing moving? So there's the thing with contrast. So it's like, without contrast, it's like this thing see that? Then when you apply contrast, you start to see this thing, and look what it's doing. What is it doing? It is moving across like it's rotating around. Here it is. Look at this one here. Do you see this? Look up at there. Do you see? It looks like it looks like a bowling ball. There it goes spinning. Do you guys see it? It's in the middle of the screen. It's kind of faint because they are obscuring it from us. That's the theory. There. Okay, here it is again. Look. Okay, look here. First of all, this one turns. It's almost red like Mars. Look. Now watch. Just watch. The arrows are right there. Watch the craters. The craters spin. I'm just telling you that I don't know what to tell you guys. This was the weirdest show ever. The weirdest. Oh, without question. She said directing over women. No question about it. You do you. Eat any muffin you want. Believe exactly. No one's saying that this is real. I'm not saying that planet that you're looking at is real. I'm just telling you there's something weird. Look. She puts contrast on the screen, and there's craters, and the thing's moving across the sky. Now, I know what you're going to say. Oh, God, are we getting an ad? I think we're getting an ad. No, there it is. Okay, watch. Now, here's what you're going to say. You're going to say, why is no one else seeing this? Because the weather cam you're looking at is in the middle of effing nowhere. It is in BFE, bum effing Egypt. I don't like drop F-bombs because the kids, who knows? I can, but at that point, whatever. Look. So you're looking, going, why? First of all, look at the weather camera. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's like in Alaska. And all of a sudden, you see this thing come into view and disappear. I don't have time to look at weather cameras all day, okay? But this person saying it's the end of the earth, I don't know. Look, there it is. Do you see it? It looks like a spot, right? If you first look at that, okay, hit pause. When you first look at it, you say to yourself, that is some kind of problem with the lens. But the problem is, as you watch this, is it keeps moving. Watch it. There's a jet. Do you see the planet move? Can you at least admit that the spot is moving? Now, do you notice how there's a haze around it? So you're going to say to yourself, why aren't we seeing this planet? Oh God, this is going to go viral. You guys like, this guy lost his mind. But I'm only asking questions. I'm not saying it's real. My question for you as I watch the video is this. What is it? It's not a piece of dust. So what am I looking at? It's not, no one's making a CGI thing and that's not what's happening. No one's doing that. This person clearly is watching something going, what the hell am I watching? And I'm just telling you, it looks like a planet. Now, before we end the stream, I know a lot of you are going to say, this is Alaska we're looking at. That's no moon. Exactly. It's not. What the hell happened there? Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's go back. Okay, so here it is. That's not a moon because look, it's red and it's rotating. So it's in Alaska, but look, when you when you hit contrast, you can see things you normally can't see. It's like, using a filter right on Instagram or something. Look, so there's the planet. It's rotating. Dawn of the first day. Well, maybe that's the truth. If it's true, then we're dead. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna like the alien from Nope. I mean, maybe, who knows? Maybe that's real. Loved every minute. Thank you, Jeff. We're almost done. We can talk about Critics' Choice. Let's do that Sunday. I'm so tired. No, actually, Kaczynski was snubbed. That's so ridiculous. I don't know what's more ridiculous. The fact that I'm saying there's a planet on your screen or Joseph Kaczynski getting snubbed by CCA, which I'm a member of. I was so ashamed by that. So I'll put some links in there, but the one channel is called The Final Days. Okay. The other channel is called Jeff P. Just search Jeff P. And just, how about this? Watch the videos, come back here on Sunday night. Tell me if you see anything. I'm just telling you, man, I think there's some weird shit out there. That's all I'm going to tell you guys. I just think there is. Get out and support Avatar this weekend. Get out, and if you go to see it in Dolby, you get this really cool lanyard, this 3D. Do you guys see that? Look. Oh, wow. Look at that. So go see it. Check it out. Support cinema, because the sun... Oh, it moves because the sun does. Okay, maybe. It's a lens flare. That's what Kevin... The problem is, Kevin, she's saying it's not because it's rotating. It's rotating. I cannot confirm or deny. I don't know. Does it go behind the mountain? I think in some of the videos it does. In some videos it does. I've been drinking too much too. Binary sunset. Well, I don't know, guys. I'm just telling you. I'm putting it in there. Thank you guys for being here. The show is over tonight. We are back on Sunday for the flagship show on MMT. Have a good rest of your weekend. I'll see you Sunday night on MMT. Good night live from Los Angeles. Erick.